Hi everyone, it's Jen again. Today I was just working on a new portrait sprite for the character of Eve, who gets introduced in this chapter. She will be a recruitable unit for the Ancients side, and there are two characters that are going to join during the war that haven't joined either side yet, and that will be Mieta for the Crown side and Eve for the Ancient side. So next month I'm going to be having to finish her battle sprite and her skill trigger animation, and I also have to do Mieta's skill trigger animation as well as the updated bond sprite. So this month I had 3 backgrounds to do. A boss encounter with the battle sprite and programming for that, and I had 5 new bond sprites as well as the bond conversations 1 through 4 and 2 separate routes. So that was a lot of content, and to be honest, it's the 22nd today as I'm recording, and I was sure at the beginning of this week that I was going to be able to finish this chapter in the month period, but now I'm not so sure. I think I wrote at least 25,000 words for just the Crown side, and I haven't finished the bond conversations either. I just did Jeth's and Michaelis's, so I still have Dieda's and Asher's and Jonas's to do. So yeah, I had a lot of bugs. I had a lot of bugs to get through, and all that took me a lot longer than I thought it would. Some miracle could happen, and I could just get on a really I could just start writing up a storm for the ancient side, and it could just flow really quickly, and I still could possibly finish by the end of the month, but it may be a few days late. We'll have to see. It's interesting because I don't really have any set deadlines, but anybody who's been following me and my projects for a while will know that I'm pretty consistent, and I really wanted to try to stick to the monthly updates, even with the route splitting and becoming twice the writing. Just because I do want to finish this project sooner than later. I've been working on Arcane Dice Wars on and off for it'll be 2 years in November, so I'm starting to feel anxious to get it finished. And even if I stick to the monthly updates somehow, it's still looking like probably early maybe February, March of next year that I'll be finishing, and I have a feeling it's going to take me a lot longer because endings are always just brutal, in the sense that I just mull over them, and they just seem to take me way longer than I think they're going to take me, and I want to go out on a strong impression. I don't want to fizzle out and just throw something together at the end to get it done. They say when you are watching a movie that the most impressionable parts of the movie are going to be the very beginning and the very end. So to start out strong and to end strong, I think is really important in any type of storytelling experience. Maybe when people are playing games, it's not something that developers might be concerned as much about, just because it is such a longer experience. So the main focus, I feel like, on a lot of developers is just having a really strong hook, and then once you've got them hooked, there's a good chance they'll kind of do that sunk cost fallacy and just power it out through the end, even if the quality or the story or whatever the game content is starts to diminish. A lot of times people will, if there was a strong start and they got invested from the beginning, they will see it through to the end. And they might complain about the ending being disappointing, but if it was a really good game in the beginning, there's a pretty good chance that they will still be favorable to it overall, just because they got invested in it. I still want to try to make these endings impactful, so there's a lot for me to try to there's a lot that, I don't know, self-imposed pressure on myself to try to do my best. So I know endings are going to be a challenge for me, as they've been in the past, and I'm kind of psyching myself up for it, but I'd like to try to get there so that I can tackle those endings, so that I can finish this project in a timely manner, because being in my 40s, I have a lot of other projects I want to do in my lifetime, and I'm gonna run out of time if I just kick that can down the road. Which brings me to today's topic that I wanted to talk about. What do we do when we're not feeling it? So I've spoken in the past about burnout, and I was pretty sure that I've kind of modified my behavior to avoid the burnout cycles that I've felt in the past. But this week was just rough. I was going to give myself permission, because I was just feeling down, to just stop for a while. Just kind of give up on this monthly deadline, and just stop what I was doing. And when I talked with my colleagues and friends, they all kind of encouraged me, because they know how much I work and how, I don't know, passionate I am about these things, to just like chill, because they're just like, yeah, Jen, like you've been doing this, like you've been going pretty hard like for a long time, like yeah, you should like just chill and like do nothing for a while. we encourage you. But I am not really I'm not happiest when I'm doing nothing, and these days I don't have a lot of patience for just like vegging out anymore. It's almost like I get like anxious or something, because I want to be busy and I want to be working towards my goals, and I'm not burnt out. I'm not tired mentally of it. So the first thing I did when I was like, I guess, feeling down the other day was double check. So being a biological female, I am very sensitive to hormone changes, and of course it's my monthly cycle, and I always talk about how that also always throws a wrench in my productivity, and I have to be realistic and take into account for that. And sometimes it is like the severe fatigue of it, sometimes it's just like the overwhelming desire to lay down because I feel like I was hit by a truck. Discomfort, headaches, migraines. There's a host of different physical ailments, but I haven't really talked about like the what it does to my brain. And for me personally, I've done enough work on myself that I can tell when I'm feeling down. And it's kind of like more of a body or chemical and hormonal kind of irrational trigger, versus like if it's a mental problem to be solved. And I've done so much work on myself to understand my mental state and work with how my brain likes to work, and try to make that work with, I guess, finding some peace and contentment in life. I don't want to say happiness, because happiness, I feel like, is an elevated state that cannot be sustained. And when you're at an elevated state, you're gonna be coming down. Like, that's just what happens with the chemicals in your brain and everything. Like, once it's up, it has to come down. And I prefer to actually be more in a stable state so that I don't have to experience those highs and lows. I know some people prefer to have highs and lows, that gives their life more sense of, I don't know, feeling and excitement. I prefer to be more stable and steady. I don't like the lows. I'll trade the highs for the getting rid of the lows any day. But when I'm experiencing these hormonal fluctuations during these certain times of the month, it's unavoidable. And I try not to make any rash decisions during those times. So like when I was feeling really down the other day, there's a lot of things that I can think of that I could say, okay, well, this is a circumstance of life that is making it especially hard. So I took in my late mother-in-law's dogs, and the dogs brought in fleas, and I've been fighting with this flea infestation for a little while now, and it's really getting me down. Work was really busy, and that was kind of stressful, and that is really getting me down. You know, there's other things that I can point a finger at, and I can be like, okay, life is just too much right now. That's getting me down. So maybe I should just like put my projects on hold, and I don't know, treat myself to something to self-medicate the difficulty away. Whether that be like vegging on games and media, eating ice cream, I don't know, whatever people do to try to like cheer themselves up. Buy a favorite thing. I'm at a point in my life now where I realize that like none of these little self-medicated techniques work for me, because they're just short-term solutions. They're just a distraction from the hardship. So I don't put things on hold for the future in hopes that the hardship will pass. Because the other thing is that as you grow older, the hardships just get harder. You just get more responsibilities, and your body just breaks down more. And now you have physical ailments on top of the mental ailments, and the responsibilities just kind of increase, especially when you're my age, where you start to be like in the middle, where you have people who are older who need help and support, and I still have like a young child who still needs a lot of help and support. So like it's a lot sometimes, and I could sit here and lament and be like, okay, well, life is too hard, and wallow in that sadness, and just I don't know, do me time stuff or whatever. But the me time stuff, it doesn't fulfill me. It doesn't make my problems go away. It doesn't make life easier for me. So I personally found that like working on my projects and the things that I'm passionate about are the things that energize me. And I've talked about this before on my channel. So when I was starting to feel this point of being overwhelmed, and I'm like, I don't even know if I'm having fun anymore with my projects because I just feel so down on everything. Just step away for a moment, and I say, okay, it's that time of the month. You've also had headaches for the last like 2 days that you've been fighting with, on top of all the other little things in life that have been building up. And you didn't feel this way at the beginning of the week, and let's see how you feel at the end of the week. And until then, just do what you can. So like if you fall behind in your schedule, if you fall behind in your goals, that's fine. But if you find yourself just twiddling your thumbs, work on your project a bit. Just a little, or just do whatever you feel like on it. And like, don't rush yourself. Don't think about you know, where you should be in development or where you hope to be to make your goals and all that kind of stuff. Don't think about any of that. Don't even think about whether or not you want to continue the project. Just get through today, not in a, I guess, treat myself, escape from my problems kind of way, but in a don't be so hard on yourself kind of way. Don't expect yourself to perform at the level that you normally would expect yourself to perform at when you're not feeling so bleh. And so that's been my schedule for like kind of the last couple days, where I did a lot of bug testing. I probably, even though I ended up working on the project as much as I normally would work on, I probably only got about halfway through what I had projected myself to be able to do, and part of that was because I had way more bugs in my project than I anticipated, and maybe a lot of those bugs were created by the fact that I wasn't 100%, you know, I wasn't working as optimally as I would have liked. But I'm starting to feel a little bit better now, and I think that I am going to keep on working towards my goal.
Aww.
Here we are going to do a little bit of a screen test here, just to see if
such is fate.
The new assets are working. I did put in some new voice lines for Eve. Thank you, Echoberry. Love your
me too.
portrayal of Eve. It was just the right kind of energy I was looking for. Yay, super happy about that. And
let's see.
This week I can switch over to the ancient side of things.
Right?
And I'm still going to hold on to the little hope that maybe I can finish it this month, but if I'm a few days late, I'll apologize in advance. It was just it was just a bit much. Alright, thanks so much for watching the video, and let's hope for a good week coming up, and as always, don't forget to enjoy the process. Bye!